All right, guys. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Practical Wealth Show. So today we're talking about my favorite asset class, which is business, right? And so, in order to help you guys make more money, I have as my a friend and a special guest, Miss Melinda Emerson, aka also known as the Small Biz Lady. And so, before I bring her on, let me introduce her properly. I told her I said I know her, so but I'm going to do it right. Right, so I want to give you your props and make sure you're positioned as the expert you are. So Melinda Emerson, the small biz lady, is America's #1 small business expert. She's an internationally renowned keynote speaker on business development, social media selling, marketing strategy. She is the CEO of the Quintessence Group. Her marketing consulting firm sourced Fortune 500 brands that target small businesses, and she works with small businesses directly. Okay. So, and she has an online school, the Small Biz Lady University, that teaches owners online marketing. She has published over 5,000 articles on her blog, succeedasyourownboss.com. Her advice is widely read, reaching more than $3 million entrepreneurs each week online. So you can find her, right? And she hosts the Small Biz Chat podcast. I was recently a guest on there. And she also she's the best-selling author of 2 books, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months and Fix Your Business. Melinda, thank you for gracing us and welcome to the Practical Wealth Show.
I'm so excited to be here with you, Curtis. You know, I'm your biggest fan.
Right back at you. So Melinda, as your client, but we've known each other for a good 20 years,
At least
25.
I think it's been 25.
Yeah, I think I met you the summer I got married, and I just had my 25th anniversary, so it has been 25 years. So, so I knew her before. I saw her rise, and so she's blowing up, and I'm so proud of her. You know, who am I to say that? But I'm proud of her. I'm proud of you, just so you know. So I've said it online, and and so let's help these folks though, and tell them a little about what I didn't tell them, your backstory, and how did you become the small biz lady?
Well, that's actually like a funny story and a sad story that became a good story, right? So, when I wrote my book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, I wrote my book in 2007, 2008, and it was actually due to the publisher September 1st, 2008. But you are a wise financial guru, and you do recall what happened about September 14th, 2008, right? The
No,
world
yes, I
crashed,
do. Yes.
right?
Hmm.
People's 401ks became 101ks. It was like really, really bad. And so my publisher reached out to me and said, listen, thank you so much for being a first time author that actually turned your book in on time. But we actually don't think anyone's thinking about entrepreneurship right now. So we're going to shelf your book for 18 months.
Wow.
Well, my book was supposed to come out at the top in first quarter of '09, and it ended up coming out at the end of first quarter 2010. So my book came out March 31st, 2010. So that was like 18 months that they
Mm.
shelved my book. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy macaroni, Batman, what are we going to do? And literally, I was talking to a friend of mine in the National Speakers Association. And she was like, Melinda, if I were you, I would start publicizing that book like it was coming out anyway. As a matter of fact, I might be trying to figure out this new social media thing because they say it's going to be the next big thing in marketing, and you might as well jump on that and get on that early.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember I called a woman who was a publicist who knew as much about social media as anybody did because hello folks, in 2008 Twitter was 1 years old, right? So it was not friend me, follow me, like all this stuff that people do now.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, I was like, what is Twitter? I mean, like I literally didn't know
That's
what
funny.
Twitter was. And I remember I called this woman, her name's Kathy Larkin, and I said, hey, I've got this book coming out, but I know I gotta, get out here on social media and make a name for myself. And she was like, oh my God, you mean we have 18 months to promote your brand online? And she was actually giddy that these people had my book. And I was thought she was a crazy person, you know. And so, long story short, she said, I know what we're going to do. And I was like, what is we going to do? You know, and she said, let's get on Twitter and build your brand. And I was like, okay. So finally, the day came for me to get my own Twitter account. So she's in front of her computer on the phone with me. I'm in front of my computer on the phone with her. I go to twitter.com and I put in Melinda Emerson. And I got this polite message back. This name is already taken.
Mm,
Now, come on. First of all, I have probably met only 6 other Melindas in my life that are older than me. My name is not common. And certainly, I never would have thought that Melinda Emerson would be common. But thanks to Facebook, I know that there are 7 Melinda Emersons, but I'm the only Black one. So I
okay.
happen to
Well, there you
own
go.
melindaemerson.com. So they all know who I am. But anyway, that particular day, we had to come up with a nickname for me. And it's super on the fly, like really like 2 minutes worth of, you know, deliberation over it. And so she threw out a couple, how about small biz guru? Mm-mm. How about small biz expert? Great keyword. Mm-mm. Just didn't feel like me. And then she said, how about small biz lady? And I was like, hey, I could be her, you know? And
Okay.
literally that was the day that I became small biz lady. When and you know, fast forward now 13 years later, that was the best branding accident that ever happened to me. Because think about it, there are thousands upon thousands of so-called and actual business coaches, but business experts, but there is
Right.
only one small biz lady, and I happen to be her. So I was able to immediately stand out in the marketplace because of my branding, because of my superhero moniker or brand name that I was forced to kind of take on, but it turned out to be the best thing for my business.
Yeah, that's I didn't even know that story. Okay, so that's interesting. So now how did you take that? So you got that, branding and
Mhm.
I don't want to say I have a pushback. I have a thought process on branding, but I'll come back to that. And but you became how did you I think you self-proclaimed it and then just leaned into it. But how
Yeah.
did you become America's number one small business expert?
Well, Curtis, you know, I come from the sort of like Muhammad Ali school of marketing, right? So, you
Right,
know,
right, right.
before Muhammad Ali was the greatest, he told everybody that he was the greatest, that he
Right,
was the GOAT, that he would float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, right? And so I took on that same mentality when I decided that, you know, I got a vision and a dream to become America's number one small business expert. So it was shown to me in a dream. And then I had to proclaim it because the Bible says, so as a man thinketh, is he. So I was like, look, back in 2007, when I was writing Become Your Own Boss in 12 months, I was telling people that I was America's number one small business expert. But then once I got online, once I crowned myself small biz lady, you know, you have to do work. So the work has to catch up to, you know, your moniker, if you will. So
right,
literally for 2 years, every day, I worked Twitter like a job, like 9 to 5. I was on there answering people's small business questions, sharing small business articles. Because back then, in the beginning, I didn't even have a blog. Like I was sharing articles from Inc. and Entrepreneur and New York Times, whatever, because I was like, I just wanted to be helpful. Right. Because one of
right.
the things you have to do when you first start out in business is you have to friend raise before you can fundraise. And so for me, I was like, I answered somebody's question every day about their business. And also shared something personal about myself. You know, back then JoJo was a baby, so I used
Right.
to tweet things out like, you know, had to act like an ape to get JoJo to eat a banana this morning. You know, anything to help people to get to know me personally, to know that I
Right.
wasn't just some, you know, robot drone sharing business information, but that I was a real person. I was a mother, I was a wife. You know, there were things that I wanted people to understand, but that I also had a mission. And my mission was to end small business failure. And so every single thing I did, every piece of content I put out, every podcast, every interview I did, it was about teaching people stuff that they had no idea they didn't know that could clothesline them on any given day in their
Right.
business.
Right.
And so by 2010, it was Googleably true that I was America's number one small business expert. But I literally, I wrote 5,000 articles about how to
Right.
start and grow a
Right.
successful business.
Right.
I wrote not one, but four books, right? So it's like
Right.
I had to earn my stripes. They didn't give it to me. I might have given myself the title, but it has to be Googleably true to be true,
Right.
right? So
Right.
so I had to put the work in.
See, I think what the lesson, guys, I want you to get from this. So one, she thought it as a man thinketh, so is he, but she proclaimed it. See, y'all are waiting for, oh, I got to get this certification. You're waiting for somebody else to proclaim you're qualified to do such and such, and then you did the work, right? Because the activity produces knowledge. Knowledge does not produce activity, right? So
Right.
she was in business. She she was in business, what, at least a good
It,
six,
it
seven,
was
eight
almost
years
10 years. It was
before
almost 10 years. It was like
10
nine, it
before
was like nine
small
years.
biz,
Yeah.
right? So you were
Mhm.
doing this stuff, okay, quite successfully. So I want y'all to see the pattern of this. So I want you to know who you're talking to, first of all right? And then uh she did the work, she put out articles, she was helpful, okay? So now you're attracting people. See, because I think branding is a byproduct of good marketing, of good, of helping people and building that out. And that kind of is not branding just for branding, shake colors and logos, but
Sure,
the
sure.
you know
Well,
that's my difference. I view,
there's
yeah,
all
go ahead.
kinds of branding, right? You do have your visual brand and your color story and your logo and all that stuff. But your brand is really what you want to be known for. Your brand
Yes,
is what people
yes,
say about you when you're not there. Your brand is what they find when they Google you, right? So sometimes you don't have control over what, your work has to speak for you. And if
right.
you are on one platform with 100,000 followers, but you ain't got no LinkedIn account, or you don't have any other verifiable information that you are an expert in whatever it is you say you do. You don't have any
Hmm.
recommendations. You don't have any reviews. You know what I mean? Like, then people will be like, well, where did you come from? How did you gain this knowledge? Like, for me, I've been in business now 24 years, right? So I'm not talking about what I think about business. I'm talking about what I, in fact, know. And even
Right.
when I wrote my book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, I wrote the book I had never read. I wrote
Right.
the book I wish I had had before I started. I really wanted to just shorten people's learning curve as they started in business, because it's hard to start a business. Like, if everybody could do it, everybody would, but you can't, because everybody isn't built for it. And
Right.
so I really tried to be almost like the straight talk express of small business, because I believe there's all these people out here sugarcoating business. Oh,
Hmm.
just leap, just do it, just, fail fast. Oh, and I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. You
Right.
have to
Okay.
plan for success. Success is not going to just happen to you. And you have to learn from failure quickly. You have to be able to shake it off, but we can't get out here going into business and stuff we have no knowledge of, no
Right.
information, no background information. I mean, what are you doing coaching somebody and you ain't been where they trying to go? It's like, it's ridiculous. And I see that's foolishness all the time.
I know, it drives me crazy, and then you can kind of see through it. It's like, all right, well, what am I get? What is the people? I'll ask people all the time informally, like, well, what's the result that you're selling? Like, what are they going to get out of this? I know what you want to do, and but what do they get? Because that's what they're buying. With regards to that, and you kind of said it, but I just want to make sure we put it out there. So if I'm Joe Blow, small business contractor, ice cream shop owner, coach, how does branding, the way you define it, help me?
No matter what you sell, whether you sell accounting services, ice cream, or spa services, if you elevate your brand, if you demonstrate your expertise in the marketplace, if you give out samples of your ice cream product, more people are going
Mhm.
to know about you, and more people are
Mhm.
going to talk about you, and more people are going to be interested in you. And
Mhm.
what branding yourself does is draw your ideal client to you. I mean, a lot of us
Yeah.
in business, we spend a lot of time chasing people. Oh Lord, I wish this person would just give me an appointment, give me a shot. If you demonstrate your expertise really well, your ideal customer will beg to do business with you.
Right.
But
Right.
you have got to demonstrate it. I mean, the difference between, I think, a brand like mine and somebody who wants to be me when they grow up is relentless consistency. Like since
Consistency. Yeah.
2009, I have never not posted to my blog.
Wow.
Never. And I mean never ever, never. Right? So you can set a watch to another blog post, another helpful, actionable blog post coming out on my blog, or my newsletter coming out on Wednesday, or my podcast coming out every Wednesday. We put out 45 pieces of content every week for
Wow.
years and years, right? So it's like I don't have to, when people call me, we don't have conversations about whether or not I can solve their problem. We have
Right.
conversations about availability and budget.
Right. Exactly.
Right? And
And
that's
see,
what
so you gotta
happens.
be findable. It's like that, there's
Yeah.
evidence that you can help them. You gotta be because the people you're looking for. So that's what I learned in probably Melinda about it started to kick in. I started studying marketing around 2010 and it
Mhm.
started to kick in. Maybe I'm a slow learner, I think. Five, 5 or 6 years ago, right? And so I stopped prospecting and I realize I'm a financial educator, and then now people find me. I haven't made an outbound call in almost 3 years, right? And so people
Right.
find me, and it cuts out a lot of rap. And so
And
to your
I
point, that's
do
yeah,
business with Fortune 500 corporations.
yeah,
Amex, Verizon, FedEx, Chase, they call me on the phone.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
I'm not calling the CMO of Verizon, right? You know what I
See,
mean?
think
So
about this,
it's
guys, right?
easy.
How good would your schedule be if you could structure? You were just coaching me a little bit as well before we got on the call, right? Of structuring your day when you want to work, and then now people are calling you so you can put them so you can create the life you want, the business
Yeah.
to because the business should be there to serve you, your life, your
Oh,
income, your
100%.
that kind of stuff.
100%.
Mhm.
We don't live to work. No, we work so that we can live our best life. And that's what
Right.
people miss, because sometimes when you start out in business, you could mess around and change, really trade a soul sapping job for a business that becomes a noose around your neck if you don't manage your time properly. And if you're not
Yes.
making sure that you're minding your money, and that you know how much profit is in every sale, and that you know what your most profitable stuff is, right? All of those things are really, really important. And so you have to know these things. You have to stay on top of your numbers. Your fear of math can't be why you don't know what's going on in your business financially, right? You know what I mean? So you have to make sure that, number one, that you're actually solving a need for your client, like that there is somebody
Yep.
that needs what you sell, and then that you've got
Not
a
what you want to do. Oh, let's stay there for a second, right? That your passion. Oh, would you don't know, Curtis? I'm passionate about such such. I
oh
always tell
god,
people, nobody cares about your passion, right?
nobody,
Nobody.
nobody, nobody cares
So
about your
what
passion.
can you do for me? So your passion and okay, great, but you need to make money. And then maybe if you're passionate about like I love what I do. So I'm fortunate that my what did it say? My vocation is my invocation. But
Right.
that's not necessarily the case for or you gotta find it, but
Well,
they're not buying that. Your
right.
passion. You're
Yeah, well,
excited.
I tell people, find your purpose, not your
Yeah,
passion, right?
yeah,
Who are you serving? And how is it that you're more qualified than anyone else to provide that service or product,
right.
right? So that's really what it is about. It's like your mission, vision, and passion all rolled up together is your purpose. And you have to find out what your purpose is,
Yes.
and
Let's
that is
segue
so, so, so
yeah.
important.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
segue.
so,
I want
so
to say that's
important.
a good segue into your second book. This is the second book?
Yes.
So y'all have it here?
Well, I've
Okay,
written
I'll
the
show you one of
first
my
one 3 times, but yes, technically that's the
right.
second
Well,
one.
the yeah, like so you got edition 1, 2, and 3, and then the newer book, right? Because
Yes,
I was
yes.
not on tour with her, but I was at one of the signings that was locally to us. And anyway, you got to stay till the end because we're going to give you a link to a special event coming up as we record this in Philadelphia in September of 2023. So we're going to talk about that at the end. But tell us about fixing your business because so
Mhm,
those of you already are Curtis, I want to start. Okay, we talked about that. Now
mhm,
let's fix what you got going on. So
yeah,
create a business that works so you don't work all the time, right? And
mhm.
so in that, maybe we can hit a few of them. I don't have time to do all 12, but what are the 12 P's? Maybe you can mention them of
Sure.
of running a business, and maybe we can dig into one or two of if it comes up to dig into most your favorites.
So the 12 P's, basically they're the 12 P's of running a successful business. So
Mm-hmm.
the first P is preparation. And the reason why
Mm-hmm.
the first P is preparation is because I don't believe that most people don't know what's wrong with their business. I think they just haven't gotten tired enough of it to fix it, right? That
Mm-hmm.
800-pound gorilla customer you got that never pays you on time, that calls you all the time, yeah, you need to fire them as a client. Or you might have a diva employee, that antagonizes you and everyone else that works for you, and you haven't gone through the trouble to fire them yet because the thought of replacing them, you'd rather run your tongue through ground glass. I mean, so it's like you have to decide that you are ready and willing to finally fix your business. Those taxes you hadn't had done in 2 or 3 years, yeah, that, or this accountant that's terrible that you need to get rid of. Those are things that you have been tolerating that you shouldn't. And so we start always with that. Are you ready to fix it? Right. And that's what I
Right.
mean by preparation. The second P is purpose, right? And
Okay.
the reason why I talk about purpose in this way is because sometimes you have to remember your why. Why did you start your business? But then you have to say to yourself, why should I still be running it?
Hmm.
Should I perhaps be doing something else? Is it time to sell? Is it time to go back to school? Is it time to reinvent? Like, are you tired of doing it? Like, are you worn out?
Mhm.
Do you still have
Mhm.
it in you to climb this mountain one more time? Like, you have to make that decision for yourself. The third P is people, right? Your business can only grow as far as your two hands can reach. So you got to get you some people. But the problem is a lot of times we get doers instead of thinkers. Will you
Right.
do this for me? Will you do that for me? Versus somebody else in your business thinking about how your business makes money other than you, right? It's critical. Salespeople, other than an assistant salesperson, to me is the second or third person you need to be hiring in your business for sure, because you need someone else helping you with sales. Um, the fourth
Which is
P
the
is
lifeblood of your business, and let
right,
me tell you, we
right.
I did this talk one time for SCORE, right? And I said, "How many of you" there's 300 entrepreneurs in the audience, right? "How many of y'all like sales?" And
Nobody,
Imma tell you,
nobody
it
raised
was
their
like,
hand.
well, maybe 15 hands went up. I was like, "I wish y'all could see what I'm looking at. Y'all, are you crazy?" I almost said, "Are you crazy?" But I said, "How what business you think y'all in?" Right?
Right.
And
That part.
if you don't sell it, who was gonna sell it
That
if you
part.
can't sell it? I was like, I just wanted to follow my passion.
I
Okay,
just
whatever.
wanna do
And
build more widgets. Yeah,
oh
no.
my God, you gotta ring the cash register. My dad used to always tell me your store has to be open. You have to, the you his where I grew up in retail, so he would say your store has to be open, which means you have to be open doing work that leads to a check, that leads to the cash register ringing every day. And otherwise you're just busy, but you're not being profitable. And so anyway, that just inspired me to go on a little tangent there, but um as I do. But keep going if I didn't take you off your off your
No,
square,
no,
but
no.
that was it.
But the fourth P is profit. And I talk
Profit.
about profit because profit is how we keep scoring business. It is not about what you make, it is about what you keep. And people kill me all the time because they always, because I'm the small business lady, they want to run up on me. Oh, we're going to do 1.4 million this year. I was like, yeah, what's your percentage of profitability? And when I hit them with that, they'd be like, oh, well, I haven't had our accountant do our, I'm like, you got to know that.
You
You
should know
gotta
that,
know.
and I wanna know that every month, like, if
Every
not
month,
every
you
week.
should know
Yeah,
that, right? By the
yeah, yeah.
15th of the month, actually, if you're working with an account. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people hide behind numbers. Most people that finally break $1 million in revenue spend 1.2 million to earn a million.
Ouch. That is
Most
hustling
people, the
backwards.
first year they break a million, they don't make any money. And it's funny because people be like, "Oh, we did," they be all puffed out wanting to tell you. I'd be like, mm-hmm. I know plenty
That's
of
one of
$1
my
million
favorite
dollar
sections
people.
because it's not what you earn, is what you keep.
It is
Like,
what you keep,
and
right?
I use your boys' process we teach,
Oh
profit
yeah,
first.
Mike Michalowicz's book Profit First is legit. I mean, I tell
It's
people about
life
it too.
changing. I mean,
It
you
is.
gotta pay your it's basically the envelope system for business owners, but using checking accounts and richest man in Babylon. Part of all your earnings yours to keep.
Hmm.
And so, like, if you don't do that, you will always be poor. And I've got from old timers when I was in my family was in the tavern business. God said, listen, for every time, every shift, you need to take $25, $50, and you take it off the top and put a little envelope, put in the back of your safe. I mean, you that's your money. You have to pay yourself. And I didn't receive it because you're taught, well, I got payroll, I got this, I got to make sure that they
Right,
eat, and you
right.
do. But
But you
what's
got to
the
eat
point? I
too.
found I was running a little clubs to keep, a little club for my staff and their friends to come by and drink, and I wasn't making any money.
Right,
And which is
right.
very frustrating. Okay.
It is,
And
it is, but a lot of people kinda have to learn this thing the hard way, but it's like it's about the money. It's about the numbers. You've gotta make sure you know what your most profitable stuff is and that you are selling more of that than other stuff, right?
yeah,
Sometimes you need to stop selling stuff so that you can focus on your more profitable services and products, but it's extremely, extremely important. And then once we get done, going over sort of like your money rules, the 5th one is process. Like, how
mm,
does your business operate? If how your business operates is only up in your head, you are in trouble because
right,
it's really important for you to kind of know what are you doing every week, every month, every quarter, every year. And a lot of times I see entrepreneurs, they can't separate queen bee work from worker bee work.
mm,
I have a rule in my
mhm,
office. Would Beyonce do that? No, she would not. And Melinda's not doing it either, right? So my staff already know what to bring me versus what not to bring me. So it's really important that business owners, our most high valued activity is closing customers or reconfirming customers and getting a new order. So anything beyond that, you need to make sure it is a high valued activity. So unless you run an accounting firm, you should never be putting your own data in QuickBooks. You can pay someone to do that, right? So
yeah,
you just have to be really clear about what tasks you take on. And you won't even know all the tasks you do until you write them down. Track your tasks for 30 days and see
right,
all the stuff you do that you should not be doing and how you can outsource it better to virtual assistants. I have several virtual assistants, not just one. I have a whole other team that does my social media marketing stuff for me. I am a social media guru, but I pay somebody to do my social media because I don't have time. Now, the
right,
message always comes from me, but the push out of the marketing does not. And so you just have to be really clear about what your time is worth and what you spend your time doing. And I see that as one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of small business owners make. And then once you kind of get clear about your processes, then it's time to look at your productivity and particularly what productivity tools are out here that can help you move further faster. There's lots of talk these days about chat gpt, and ChatGPT is great for manual stuff that takes time, like job descriptions, like emails for email marketing, follow up emails, replay emails, that kind of stuff. ChatGPT can do that stuff in seconds. So you need to leverage tools, and there's a lot of AI tools that you can use to even make GPT do even more stuff for you, like
right.
PowerPoint slides and everything else. So it's really, really important that you think through how you can use your technology more effectively to help you move faster. I personally, I was resistant to it at first, and now I'm a believer.
Okay.
So that is something that I firmly believe in. And I know we're running out of time, so I've given you six. So for the rest of them, you guys are just going to have to buy the book, Fix Your
Buy
Business
the
to
book.
learn them.
Yep, yep. I mean, I listen. And what happens? The great thing about the book, it's there's like steps to it and when to work on what and going through it. So if the book is a book, but it's a workbook, it's a 90-day plan. So here's the whole title of the book: Fix Your Business, a 90-day plan to get back your life, reduce chaos in your business, right?
Yeah.
And become more profitable. So like you've got to schedule what I call your in time working in your business, but you've got to schedule on time and where you're working on the business because you have to develop. And I got this thought process from the E-Myth guy, Michael Gerber. You've got to see your business something outside of you that you're fixing, because this is what I always tell our clients: your business is your number one asset and investment, right? I
Mhm.
tell them your number one asset is you. And you work on your mindset, your skill set, your network, but your number one investment is the business because you understand it, you can control it. You put $1 in your business, you make $2. That's 100% return. So, Melinda's thought process can literally, you know, double your revenue, double your income, and help you live the life that you desire to live.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I wrote that book, Curtis, because I wanted people to be able to take a laptop-free vacation. I want people to be able to unplug for a week or two and be gone, and their business not completely fall apart or come to a halt.
Well, I gotta reread it because well, I stopped taking my laptop, but I still have my iPad that I put a keyboard on. But so it's just smaller and more. But anyway, I'm working on it. It's that's the goal. And let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you two questions. I want to go into your brand and demand live. So when you talk about, let me see. What's the number one decision you think a person needs to make when branding your business, or brand your business or brand yourself, as you think about that mindset?
I think it's all about what you want to be known for. You really have to get super clear. I think a lot of times people be like, "Oh, I'm an author, speaker, coach." Well, what is that exactly? There's a big difference between that and I'm America's number one small business expert.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am an
Mm-hmm.
author, speaker, coach, and consultant, but that doesn't say anything to anybody. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really, you have to get real clear about what you want to be known for and what niche lane you're going to drive in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And the content, just from your example, your content that you created is kind of led to that down that road to basically to show proof of concept that like if you look at uh you got to put information out there so people know you're out there. So with content marketing, getting help with that is really I think a critical part. Once you clean up the rest of the stuff, then you really got to
It
work
is,
on
but
that.
you have to get the right kind of help. I don't believe in outsourcing the writing of your signature content, the writing of your book or something like that. I think that
Mm-hmm.
stuff still got to come from you because it's got
Okay.
to be your original ideas and systems and stuff. But the push out of that, like the daily scheduling of all your social media or the graphics being made to push out your branding and branding ideas, you can easily outsource that to someone. But the message always has to come from you.
Okay. How do you, I know there's a lots of ways, but what are a few ways that somebody can monetize their brand, in your opinion?
Oh, there's lots of ways. Once you elevate yourself to a national brand, you can
Mm-hmm.
monetize per blog post, per social media post. You can monetize media appearances, webinars, mini courses. I mean, there's this is unlimited all the different ways you can monetize going live on any of the channels that'll let you go live, whether it's IG, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many ways to monetize your content, but you can also license your likeness and things like that. You become a national spokesperson for a corporate brand. I mean, that's the holy grail. That's where the real money is. So I mean, there's so many different things you can do, but you have to be an expert in your field, and it doesn't matter whether you are a chef, an acupuncturist, a economist, a teacher, a librarian. It does not matter. If you elevate yourself to being the most important voice on the subject, the world will be the path to your door.
I love it. Okay. Let's talk about you've got a conference coming up shortly,
Yes.
and I want you to talk about that and tell us about Brand in Demand Live. That's your baby. That's
Yes,
the
yes.
yeah, okay.
I'm so excited. I haven't done a live event in like 5, 6 years. And so I
Wow.
am doing a
It's
two and
like
a
Elvis coming back out of on the road, right?
But, I for years I did Reinvention Weekend, and so now I'm
Mhm.
doing Brand in Demand Live. And what that is I'm looking for people who are interested in becoming an author, in becoming a professional speaker, a coach, or a consultant. Maybe somebody who's in corporate looking to transition out, but want to become a high paid consultant. In order to do that, there is a specific pathway that you need to walk on to elevate your brand and demonstrate your expertise. And face it, I mean, for over 12 years, I have been one of the most successful and highly paid national spokespeople online, specifically in the area of business. So now what I want to do is teach people how to do it too. There is no expertise that this could not benefit. Literally, no expertise. Whether you sell products, you sell art, you sell information. It does not matter. If you elevate yourself as the top expert on natural hair and you have a natural hair oil, guess what? You're going to sell more, right? So I want
Yeah.
people to be encouraged that learning how to brand yourself, learning how to get yourself media opportunities, learning how to get follow up opportunities to speak and things like that, those happen very systematically. And I'm going to be teaching what I call the 6 M's of influence so that people will learn how to build a brand that is recognizable. I mean, I don't call these major corporations, they call me because when they think about who is the top small business expert in the country, who is a woman, like I'm the top of the list, right? And that's because I position myself to be there. So I'm going to be teaching positioning. I'm going to be teaching the book game for those of you that want to write books or want to know whether you should go traditional publisher or self-publish. I'm going to break all that down. You want to know how to build a coaching program, one that gets lots of customers, not just one at a time. I'm going to teach all this stuff. And so I'm so excited to invite people to come to Philadelphia September 21st to the 23rd. It's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to be at the W Hotel in
Mhm.
downtown Philadelphia, and it is going to be amazing. Now, we're only letting about 150 people come to this thing, so it will sell out very soon. But because you are part of Curtis's tribe, I'm going to make a special offer to you. So we have VIP tickets discounted if you use my code SBL VIP. So what you have to do is go to our main landing page, which is smallbizladyuniversity.com/, brand in demand live. And then when you go there, use my code, and the code is SBLVIP. So you're going to get a discounted VIP ticket. So I want you to take advantage of this because in a few days, this code is gonna disappear, but I'm making it available for Curtis and his fans, and I want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity. If you want the spotlight that you deserve, if you want to know how to write a good book and not just any book, you need to be at Brand in Demand Live because I'm going to personally teach you, and I got a bunch of other experts coming that are going to help me do it as well. And everybody is a boss in their lane. So you're going to want to be at my event because I am going to teach you what you need to become a brand in demand in your niche. And that's what we're going to be working on. So I am psyched. I am fired up. I can't wait for you guys to come. It is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday here in Philadelphia. And if you like cheesesteaks, we'll figure out how to get you some of those as
That's
well.
right. There's a whole tour about that. So, and listen, if come out, I'll be there on the front row. So you get the if we, listen, meet me. Philly's inexpensive and easy to fly into if you're out of state, if you're listening to this. And so, guys, and it's great because you're going into the second and I mean the third and fourth quarter. So, what are you doing to take your business to another level? And that's what you're going to hear. You have to invest in yourself. Your number one asset is you, right? And you have to invest in your mindset, your skill sets. What she's getting ready to give you is some skill sets to take your business to another level, and your network. That's why you want to come and go VIP. Okay, so that you can meet other like-minded people that are trying to and see because in the meetings, in between the meetings, is where you're going to find joint venture partners, where you're going to find collaborations. So you've got to look at part of your marketing. You got to what events are attracting my ideal people. Where can I learn? So I think you should go with like just giving out a bunch of business cards. You need to go to learn, but you'll be in a what I call a target rich environment where everybody there's got the same mindset as you, and you'll find your tribe, and then you all have stuff where you can serve each other. So when I go to events, well, and I don't know about you, I look for strategic. I go to learn stuff, but I'm there to find strategic partners,
Oh,
and who I can
100%.
collaborate with.
I'm
Mhm.
always on the lookout for 4 or 5 other, friends in the spirit. People who are interested in what I'm interested in, and they might have a tribe over here. I've got a tribe over here. How can we cross promote? How can we help each other? And I'm a big fan of that, and really just supporting other fellow entrepreneurs who I think are legit. There is nobody that I will let get on my stage who I wouldn't use their stuff, or I haven't read their information or called them for advice. So trust me when I tell you there is another level. And I want to show you how to get there. And that is what we're going to be doing at Brand in Demand Live. I am hype. You want to become a professional speaker? I got you for that. Author, yes. Coach, yes. High paid consultant, yes, yes, yes. I've got all of that stuff for you.
All right, I need all that, so I'm gonna be there. So, and guys, y'all need to be there. And any I'm gonna let you have the last word. So any closing thoughts for these guys as we send them off and send them to we're gonna put all the links. Let me mention this. So we're gonna put her links in the show notes. We're gonna put the discount code in the show notes. And so y'all make sure if you're listening to this then hopefully you wrote it down and go and sign up now. You got to follow instructions. See, part of that, you got to make a decision, and you got to go. It's tax deductible. Y'all use credit cards for all kinds of other dumb stuff. So now use it for something really that will make you some money. That's tax deductible, right? And you can build a trip around it, right? Because you can come to Philly, go to cheesesteak a day early, stay a day later. Boom! Now you got a vacation, right? Bring your family. So, take us home, Melinda.
Well, I just want people to know that they are one idea away from being able to do anything they want. And if you always wanted the spotlight, honey, I am going to show you how to get it. So you need to be at Brand in Demand Live. You deserve to be there because all of us need to invest in ourselves. You need to learn a better mindset, better skill set, and then you need to get a better tool set. And I'm going to be giving you skill set and tool set at Brand in Demand Live. So just head over to smallbizladyuniversity.com/brand in demand live. If you can't remember that, just Google Small Biz Lady. You'll find all of my stuff. And I am all over the internet giving helpful advice all the time. So you should just follow me, friend me on LinkedIn. I use my government name, Melinda Emerson, but everywhere else, I am the Small Biz Lady. So please feel free to connect with me. Ask me a question. I always try to respond.
Awesome. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. If you listen, share this. This is a shareable. So you know why it's in business you should bring a friend to the event. You should share this interview with them. I think Melinda dropped a bunch of gems in here that are actual things that you can go do. Or if you listen to this in conjunction with the book, you read the book, now you're coming to the event not like a brand new baby. You've got some thoughts, you've got better questions you can ask because you've taken notes. You got to learn how to get stuff out the event. Okay, so you have to prepare to go. So anyway, that's what I do. All right, I'm just telling you. So and she's a friend. I've already paid to come. All right. So and you go VIP because it's better. VIP is better. Okay. And you meet more people VIP.
And
So
we're doing pre-planning calls with every VIP registrant. So everybody before you come, if you register at VIP, you're going to get a chance to talk to me before you even get to Philadelphia. So
there
not
you
only are you
go.
going to get preferred seating, not only are you going to get to come to the exclusive reception that only VIP ticket holders are going to come to, but you're going to get pre and post access to me before and after the event because I want to be here for you.
There we go. All right, guys. That you can't beat that. So go out there, make it a profitable day. Listen, like, and share, and leave us a review. Go out there and make it a fantastic day. Thanks for listening again to the Practical Wealth Show. We out.